Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There's Porter. Today we're going to change out that little sink drain right there. Look underneath. You can kind of see how it connects under there. It goes into the PVC trap. So more likely we're going to take off that coupling in the back. We'll slide that coupling out of there and do it that way. But let's see what we got here first and the reason why we're changing it. So this is the old faucet that was in there. If you look real closely at this faucet, it has that little thing in the back right here that controls that rod. It's kind of bent, but this rod controls the mechanism underneath, and that'll allow you to adjust your stopper up and down by pulling this little rod right here where my finger's at. Now, the new sink faucet, if you look real close, doesn't have any hole back there to put this new hole for a rod. They should have cleaned up that a little bit. I see that back there too. So this faucet was changed after the sink was reglazed. That's why. That could be fixed though. Shout out to my man Jose from First Class Tub and Tile Reglazing. He's the one who did the finish on this sink right here. He finished that off. So we're gonna change out the. Let me show you what it is. See. So this is probably get me some different versions. Let's see what we have here. What's on the box? Let's see what the box says. That's what's on the box. One touch. Doesn't tell you a whole lot. That's all that's on there. Nothing else. No other. Let's open this up and see what we got inside. So this is what we have. It's pretty simple. Only thing is we might have to do is we might have to cut that little end piece off to adjust to there. Maybe not. Or maybe it might just fit all the way in. But we'll find out. Either way, it's gonna get put in. So first things first, we're gonna move this old faucet out of the way so we got some room to work with. This is the old stopper with the little lever on it. Kind of pain in the neck to line that little rod up with that hole. Some don't have that rod. Some just sit on top. Some sit. It's all different styles. So let's see what we're gonna do first. I'm gonna get down here and see what we got under here. See what kind of tools we're gonna need to remove that bad boy. And I'm gonna try to show you what I'm doing. It's gonna be kind of tough because working in tight quarters here, so kind of bear with me. Let's see if I can adjust this so you can see what I see. Right there is probably a good spot to look at it from. You don't need a lot of tools. Maybe a screwdriver, a multi-screwdriver, and maybe a pliers, channel locks. So let's give it a little light so you can see what's going on there. First things first, I'm going to remove this little piece in the back here. Let's take this off. So that's out of our way. We don't need that anymore. That's going to become obsolete. Obviously, make sure no one turned the water on. So we covered that already. I'm going to use I think that's 5/8 just to loosen up this little connection on the back of the coupling back here. They got a rubber coupling here. Just loosen that up. The second thing, these are usually hand tightened. If not, we got a channel lock. We can always, let's hand tight. So just turn it, get that friction off of there. Get that loose enough. Now, if there's enough play, I should be able to pull this forward and pull this drain down. There's gonna be a little water in here, which doesn't matter, but if I keep it upright, I should be okay. So let's see if I can, there is some water coming out of there. comes out of there. Let's take that out. Slide that down. Let's keep sliding it. Oh, it's pretty long. So that means the other one will go with no problem. I just got to do the same. Oh, here we go. A little water doesn't hurt nobody. Just put that over there, get that out the way. I could have used a vacuum to suck the water out, but take that off of there. Now, get that out the way. We're gonna get our channel locks, and hopefully we can loosen this thing up and remove this. Sometimes it's a little hotter than you think it is, so let's see how well this thing turns. Moves so far, so good. Now, I don't know. Take that off, which is good. Now, this piece here should just come. If it's so loose, it should come right out. Just keep the other part from spinning. Now, this doesn't always work as easy as it is. Sometimes it's a lot harder than this. Sometimes you're getting all grinders and sawzalls, all kind of stuff to take this off. So you got to kind of plan accordingly. That's off. Push this up. So we're gonna take off this little friction washer. That's what they call that, friction washer. That's to keep the rubber from binding up. Always keep those just in case. Now this is just rubber against metal, so I could just pull this off with my hands. Just a good pull. We'll take this off. Just gotta kind of gingerly pull it. A little strength involved. Nothing major. That's off. Now let's take you up top side and see what we got up here. Let's come up top side. Shut off my light. I don't normally use my light, but let's see what we got up here top side. So now I should be able to lift that out with my finger. Maybe tap it a little bit from underneath. I got some silicone on there. So let's do it this way. Trying to do this without. Okay, let's go like this. Put you guys down there so you can see. I'm gonna push it with my hand, push it up and pull it out. Or I can just turn it a little bit. Just to break the silicone. So let's get the channel locks. Just give it a quarter turn or so. There we go. Now we can do it. So they used on this thing some kind of silicone they used. A lot of plumbers use plumber's putty. They don't really use silicone. Yeah. It looks like some kind of silicone, which is not wrong. I think the only purpose is to keep a watertight seal. So now what I gotta do, little by little, I just gotta clean out that, whatever's in that little chamber there, just clean that out. So I'm gonna try to sit this down somewhere if I can. Maybe fake focus this. Will this bend down? Maybe it's not that good. Oh, I can do it this way. Spin this around. Cause this is one of my tripods that's pretty good. So it got all kind of angles. Let me just get the right angle out of this. And I can I get that angle out of it? Maybe not that angle, but maybe. So I can't get the full angle that I'm trying to achieve because this thing doesn't allow me to spin the other way. Yeah. It goes up and down, left and right, but it doesn't go. But let's do it this way then. Let's go like this. Wow, sorry for the movement, but trying to achieve the biggest or the greatest movement I can. I can do it this way though. I'm pretty sure I can get this angle right here. Here we go. So we say where there's a will, there's a way. So my next step is clean out this putty or silicone here. Just kind of Kind of scrape it down. Maybe use the carpenter's knife, might be better than the carpenter's knife, more controllable. Here we go, see that? Just cut that all out. If it falls to the bottom, it's going straight to the bottom anyway. It's going to the bottom of the sink. Cut that nice and straight. Here we go. Cut it. Don't be afraid to clean it all the way to the bare material. There you go. Get it nice and get all the old stuff out anyway. Now, get one more just to make sure. All that silicone is cleared up out of there. Okay. Looks like we're looking pretty good there. What do you think, guys? So the very next step is I'm gonna open up my kit here. Take it off the plastic wrapping. Now the same way you see this is the same way you install it, just like that. Don't change nothing, don't alter nothing, don't add nothing in, don't take nothing away. All the parts that you see here, utilize these parts. First things first, you are gonna need some Teflon tape for this little piece right here. I'm gonna unscrew this and show you what I'm talking about. You're gonna need some Teflon tape in that fine thread area. You will get leaks, so make sure you put a couple of wraps of Teflon tape on there, no doubts. Second thing is, see how this comes off? Just take this off. This goes underneath. Just like this, like I said, the same way this comes out, the same way this goes on. Just keep in mind, this piece stays at the top. That takes the place of your putty and your silicone. This little styrofoam thing is now your new silicone. So no silicone, guys. I see guys trying to put silicone on top of it. Just let the material do its work. They've designed this product for a particular reason. Stop trying to change things in. And this thing here is a pop-up stopper, so you don't have the rod anymore. Look at this. One, look at that. Push back down, push up. Nice and easy, guys. We're gonna take it out for installation purposes, so we're gonna unscrew it like this. Just take it out, sit it on the side. See that? And these are replaceable. You could buy replaceable ones. So as long as you know the make and model, you're fine. A lot of guys have problems installing this. Keep this styrofoam up. This thing will compress and it will form as your putty. You don't need putty. Don't get no putty out. Don't get none of that silicone, none of that plumber's thread seal. Don't use none of that stuff, guys. Just leave it the way it is. So now, the hardest part in some sinks is getting this to compress down while you get the other piece to go in. That's the hardest part. Everything else is easy. The Teflon on the thing is pretty easy. Put about 2 or 3 wraps of Teflon. Matter of fact, if I have some Teflon here, see if we can throw some Teflon on it now. Like I said, all I need is a couple of wraps. I don't need no spectacular Teflon. Always remember to go kind of clockwise around it. So I'm just gonna put some Teflon on this thing real quick, just to give it, just like that. Just see that the Teflon's on there? Kind of roll it. If you're holding it in your left hand, kind of roll it around clockwise. You're gonna do it the way the threads turn in. And once you get some Teflon on it like that, kind of pull it tight, and then it seals right in. I see that? You got Teflon on there. No trick to that. People always got their little ways. No, as long as the Teflon's on it and it's the right direction, it's nice and tight, that's all that matters. You don't want it loose. You want it nice and pretty tight. Some people twist it and wrap it through the threads, and that's all you need, guys. You don't try to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already there. Utilize it. So now, this piece goes underneath. And if the cone part faces up towards the bottom of the sink. So we'll go down below and take a look at that. Let's do this. Adjust this. Like I said, you have your foam. So you don't need any plumber's putty. None of that playing with the putty stuff. No more silicone. Just use the foam. That's gonna be a watertight seal. I haven't seen one fail yet. In the last 20 years, I haven't seen one of those fail. So if they fail, let me know, because I have not seen one of those things fail. And if they do fail, feel free to contact the manufacturers and let them know, because I'm pretty sure they want their input on it. So right here is what we're gonna be doing all our work at, right up in that little spot right there. So if you can see what I see, and my tripod, let me see something here. I don't use this thing that often, so excuse me because it's not. Here we go. There we go. Right there. So now you can see what I see. I am gonna thread that in there, and sometimes you need to hold it while you're turning it. We'll see how well we can adjust this. Give it some light so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Boom, there's more light. I'm gonna climb up under the sink. You could even use the old one too if you wanted to, because the old one was still good. But always keep the old one for a backup. Like, this thing is still good. Clean it off is still good. Keep it for a backup. You never know, you might need one of these. So, matter of fact, just to make life easier, I'll put the old one on there. Let me just wipe this off. The light, instead of having to force it up there, because sometimes it's hard to force it around the threads, but if all this is just a rubber seal, that's all this is. Clean it off, dry it. And the good thing about it, there's no putty and silicone to mess around with. So let's do it like this. Trying to do this. Sometimes you need two people to hold this. This is probably the hardest part right here. Is getting this piece. And they're both the same size, so it's let me see if I can stretch this out a little bit. I'm kind of doing it with my left hand. I should be doing it with my right hand, but let's see. If I could turn this, it'll go up the threads. Let me see if I can turn this. I always have problems with this because it's trying to use leverage on both sides. So what I'm trying to push this drain down while pushing up at the same time. So you're kind of using both vertical and downward pressure at the same time, which is kind of, it's challenging, but you just got to take your time doing it. Put it that way. There's no easy way. I got it on there. I just got to get it up so the threads can, once I get enough that the threads are exposed, then I can let the nut do all the rest of the work. So let me just work it a little bit more. If I had a person holding the top, I'll get underneath and I use upward pressure and I'll be pushing it up with one, like something like this right here. I'll use this and I'll just push it up like this. Now turn it and I'll do the same thing. Use this little thing and just push up real hard on it. And it does work. easy when you got two people rather than one, but one person can do it as well. See how that goes up nice past the threads? So you keep doing that till you work it all the way around. I've done it plenty of times like this and it worked fine. Right then and there, I think I exposed the threads enough where I can start the threads. So let's see what happens. Now this particular one doesn't have a friction washer, but it has a solid metal washer like that, which is good. And you got the brass nut. Keep in mind the orientation of this. The pot with the grooves is facing up, just like that. And then this goes right around this, like so. Take your time. You don't want to cross thread. So if you feel like it's too tough or too tight, just reevaluate. Maybe I gotta push up on this side over here. Maybe just a little bit. Let's see. I just don't want to cross thread. The worst thing you don't want to do is cross thread anything, because then you're back to square one again. You don't want to do that. Let's put this is the wrong nut. The right nut is this one. Here we go. Okay, I want to do this nice and gentle. I'm gonna have to push up a little bit harder. This is the hardest part of it, is getting that washer to bond. Here we go. Now once that's in there, once you got a couple of revolutions by hand, you know you're not cross thread, then you can work your way up. So let me just check my phone for 1 second. All right, we're good to go. Just want to check and see what call that was. I'm always getting emergency calls, so I don't want to miss an emergency call if I can help it. Now, what I'm doing at the top, I'm just holding the drain so it doesn't move. While I'm holding that drain, I'm going to give it a good turn. Okay. Want that to snug up nice and tight. Now just right there alone is going to be tight enough, but you want to snug this so I can show you what I'm talking about. So the top part, so that compresses all the way down. See how that's not completely down yet? Even though that will hold water the way it is, you want this to kind of be flush with this. So you want to make sure that's flush. You don't want no, I could get my fingernail in there. See that I could get my fingernail behind that? So we're gonna, and that kind of gauges, let me see if I can get this back in here. That kind of gauges how tight it should be. When you feel that thing compressing all the way in, you kind of feeling it while you're turning this at the same time. So a couple more turns, we should be flush. Almost there. Oh, you're getting close. Get a couple more snugs up here. I could get one more, one or two more. That should be good right there. Now we're talking, because you can see the rubber compressed at the bottom. If you look at the top, that bad boy's in there. See that? That's in there. That is in there. That's what you want. You want that thing to be, you know for sure there's no water passing through that bad boy. Like I said, if it does, feel free to contact the manufacturers and let them know that it's not working. And I don't know who makes that product. I try to find out, but I don't know who makes that particular product. But there is a a website that's on that box. I can tell you where we buy these products from. A local place out in Randolph called Hat Creek. So we're gonna give Hat Creek a plug, because Hat Creek, I forget his name is. I think his name is John. Maybe I might go out to Hat Creek one day and do a video for him. Hat Creek has a lot of plumbing products. They have a lot of plumbing. They can, if they don't have it, they can get it for you. Put it that way. So Hat Creek in Randolph. You guys probably never heard of it, but they're somewhere in Randolph. I don't know the exact location, but it's not that far. It's no more than a 30-minute ride from Boston. Next step, there's an inner and outer thread. I don't know if you guys noticed it. Outer thread is more coarse, inner thread is more fine. So we're gonna start that inner thread. Get that inner thread going. What we gotta do is put this on here. And remember, take your time. Just take your time. Nice and clockwise. So if you're upside down, you're going this way with it, right? At least that looks like clockwise. So just keep doing that until it gets in there. And once it's snugged up, you don't have to tighten it with a wrench. You just have to give it a good grip with your hand. Because if you tighten this with your hand, and I'm putting a lot of turning pressure on there. I don't need to put a wrench on this now. If I have to put a wrench on this, then something ain't right. Because that should be snugged. That's snugged in there. Next step is put my little compression nut. Is that what you call that? It might not be the right name, but I call it a compression nut because that's what it does. It compresses. Next step, good old trap going back in. See that? Slide this trap in. Now, lucky for me, the sink is not mounted down, so I can lift the sink up a little bit and kind of get it right in there. See that? Boom. Just like that. Push that back in. This went down pretty far because if you notice, it's longer than that. So it went into this pipe pretty far. So all I need to do now is put that on, snug it up. And this is only hand tightened, guys. And like, you just gotta give it a good, keep turning with your hands. And we feel that little resistance, give it a good turn. Now that right there is gonna stop any water from coming up. Now some people give it like a little quarter turn with the wrench. It's fine, but remember, this is plastic. So you don't wanna strip out the teeth. So any unnecessary pressure will strip this out, no problem. So I say hand tighten because I don't know anyone, well, there are some people that are strong enough to strip it out with their hands, but using regular pressure turning this, you should not strip out anything. Now, if you should do a wrench and you think you need to use a wrench, at most a quarter turn, no more than that, because now you're overdoing. Now I'm going to tighten up my little thing in the back over here. This little, it's already in place. I just got to tighten it up. Now once I do this, I'm going to turn the water on and check for leaks. If there's no leaks, then we are good to go. I'm going to turn the water on in 2. And a lot of times we're changing out, I might as well show you that too. It's called an adder stop. We're putting the adder stops on because sometimes these cold and hot water shutoffs, these multi-turn valves don't work as much as they could. And it's a lot of work shutting down the entire building. We're on about 18 floors, 19 floors. To shut down the water in the building this size and drain it and then re-purge it could become quite a challenge. You gotta shut off the booster pumps. You gotta shut off the recirculator pumps. You gotta pressurize the system very slow so you don't shock the system. A lot of stuff's involved. People just think you shut the water off and turn it back on. It's not that easy, guys. Booster pumps first. Always shut off the booster pumps first. Then shut off your main gate valves. Never shut off the gate valve with the booster pumps running because you're gonna potentially pump the system dry. Same thing with the recirculator pump. Shut off the recirculator pump first before you shut off any of the water. It should be common sense, but a lot of people don't do it that way. So a lot of times we're putting in these quarter turn. See how there's a regular shutoff valve underneath, which is where my finger's at. That's the regular valve. Now this valve was working, but it wasn't shutting off water completely. So when we were changing the faucet, we decided to do, you will get a little water that will spill on you, but if you do it the right way, you could change this. I never done a video like this. Sometimes it's tough to do the video while you're doing it. The water would be coming out of here. The faster you put this adder stop on and close this quarter turn valve, the less water you're gonna have. So you kind of prep yourself before you do it. You kind of do it in the fly. So depending on how much water you have, you don't want to do it full pressure, you'll have a mess. So if you got half pressure to a quarter pressure, you're good. In this situation like this valve wasn't shutting off all the way. So what we had to do, instead of letting water spill all over the place, keep changing buckets, we just took off the supply line, put a adder stop. It's called add a stop. It's a 3/8 fitting, 3/8 fitting. So 3/8 on the bottom, 3/8 on the top. I believe that's what it is. I think this top part is 5/8. I don't know what that is. Something up there. I don't care. The size, you can always look at it. I think it's a 5/8. I could be wrong. 3/8. Actually, has half inch. So half inch. Sorry about that, guys. Half inch. I don't know where I get 5/8. Oh, 5/8 is the other thing. Sorry about that. 5/8 is a lot smaller than that. So now, just run the water through. Go down here, make sure there's no leaks. No leaks is good. See that? No leaks. Perfect. That's what we want. No leaks. And that's how you change it. As long as you don't see any water dripping, which you better not, but we'll cut that little Teflon tape off of there, but it don't matter at this point. But everything's tightened up down there. Got the water running up here. Oh yeah, we're looking good. Shut the water off. Screw our stopper in. Nice and easy, because you don't want to cross thread. These are plastic threads into metal threads, so you want to make sure it's flat, it sits in straight like that, and give it a nice little gentle turn. See that? Nice and gentle. Don't. If you got to manhandle it, then you're doing something wrong. I see a lot of guys in this field try to think brute force is going to get them somewhere. It's not brute force. It's intelligence with the right amount of force that's going to get you where you got to go. Run the water. Make sure it holds water, which it look like it is. Let me shut this light off because I don't really use my light that often. It is holding water. Some sinks don't have them, but there's a little overfill hole right there. Just make sure you have sinks. All sinks should have them, but I see some sinks that don't have them. So now that we're holding water, looking good so far. Water is holding. Let it go. All of this is a touch. Push and touch. That's it. Other than that, I don't know what else to tell you guys. We installed that in about 30 minutes or so. So if you're looking for this piece here, you can probably go to this website, or you can call Hat Creek, or pretty sure Home Depot carries the same product, or very something similar to it. One touch. Yeah, check it out, guys. So thank you for watching and putting that toilet on. I'm not doing that today, but we might put something to keep the sewer gases from coming up, because they just did the flooring over. I don't know if you guys can see that. The flooring is completely done, but probably come up with a new wax ring. We'll check out the journey bolts and see how they're looking. Other than that, we'll be good to go. Thanks you guys for watching. If you like this video, share, like, and subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one.